look at a different, once you have this network built and you want to be able to recall something, we need to be able to trace all the way up to the batch ID or the particular scenario. So here I'm going to look into a use case associated with recalling food. Food recalls are a scenario that quite happens with drugs also. Obviously, for the platform, you have analytics and dashboards and things that pull stuff together, and we can customize these dashboards. You can do order by status. You can pull in data from your ERP systems. You can pull in from transportation systems. So in this case, this dashboard, we are saying temperature violation, how many scenarios where we have broken packaging, damage, the expiry date, fungus infection. We can pull information from your financial systems, so you can match back orders versus lost revenue. You can look at order delivery performance, so we can pull that kind of information also. We can analyze things based on product compliance issues, products at risk, product performance scores. So these dashboards can be customized because once the data is there, we can do different things associated with it. Okay? So we're going to track a product from the purchase order stage all the way through its journey in the system. So here you can see we have a list of purchase orders that we're looking at. Here, this is imagine this is like a grocery retail chain, like a Whole Foods or Walmart or somebody like that. And they're looking at all the open purchase orders, and they see 3 items have been rejected. Okay. So the first item that was rejected is purchase order 766747, order date of 8/20/21, and organic uncured beef hot dogs. It came from Golden Gate Meat Company, which is located in Riverside, California. Order value was $14.98, slightly under $1,500. Okay. So let's click on that. We can see, and in here you see information. Again, you have the QR code. You can scan. You can print the order details. You can look at the packing list. You can look at say Copperwire system, sales order details, the order ID. All of this is being pulled from those systems, where it's supposed to come from, where it's supposed to go to. You can print the packing list out of it. We can print the QR code and put it as a label on a label printer. And you have summary information here, where it came from, order number, order date, the status. So you have now the order details. You have the price per unit, the SKU number. So we have that information. We can go into the order tracking, and we can see what happened. So it's pulling information from different systems. So all the people who are on the common ledger, they are all writing information using our record and verify APIs. So you're writing information from different places as and when they happen. And all the participants who are authorized to see the information, they can read the information as we go along. So for example, at the requester level, the purchase order information was put on. From Wholesome Foods, PO number, PO date, value, status, who approved it, the approval date. So that information has been put in. At the shipping and receiving at the Fremont warehouse, that has been recorded with the shipping ID, their batch ID, the information that is unique to Golden Gate Meat Company around tracking their item. Every company uses their own systems, their own numbering to track. So that is being recorded. At the warehouse storage, where this item is kept in the warehouse, from the aisle number, the pallet position, the vertical sector ID, when it was was put into storage, who inspected it, what's the status of the inspection. So everything was good at the time it was kept into the warehouse. When a distributor came and picked it up, we have the name of the distributor. We have the who as the person, what's the pickup time, what's this signature, this signature information, how it was shipped, who dispatched it. all of that information is recorded here. Okay. Normally, what happens is people have pieces of paper, they sign this, and then somebody puts into a warehouse management system or a transportation management system, and this information is sitting in different systems, and they're not getting reconciled. And if at all any reconciliation happens, it happens manually, and batches of this paperwork comes into the office. And people have to enter these things, and often they are weeks or months behind in reconciliation, and that means invoices get paid or don't get paid, and they don't get tied together because it happens at different points in time. Now we moved this item from that warehouse. It has gone through the trucking system, and it's been received at the shipping and receiving for the this Wholesome Foods or demo company here. And at that point, it is a store in Fremont which received the item. So-and-so Sun Yat-sen was the one who received it. This is the receiving time, who inspected the package, and it's been rejected by Frank. And we have the date of inspection, and now it is stuck on invoicing and payment. Okay, now we can also lay it out onto a map, and you can see the whole food truck here, and where the trucks are moving, and we can look at it based on filtering criteria for destinations or tracking status. Okay, different ways to look at the information. Now, we can also track other things like invoices. We can put other any documents associated with it. So the purchase order itself, we can see this is the purchase order that went along with this item. Who required it? This is a standard purchase order for that company. You can also see smart contracts. The smart contracts, different types of invoice, payment approval. So the system has quality assessment, etc. Right? So in this, we see that it's been rejected. So let's go drill down further and verify that information. So that information, you can see here, we now pull the shipping and receiving information from order ID to order date to, you can see the details of the package. You can see pictures coming through in the slide. You can see this actually came from a truck. From this truck, we can see that these are the actual items in there, and the truck actually gave us IoT temperature data, and we can see the temperature excursion. It went up. We can go, it was rejected. We recorded the status. This smart contract was activated. And here you can see the temperature recording that came from the truck. There's a cooler PPT violation, and it was open for about 45 minutes. And the temperature went below the allowed mean kinetic temperature. We also noticed that many of the items in this package were past expiry date. Okay, so we flagged a couple of challenges with this particular package. It's been partially rejected, and we also put this thing as an auto certificate. So you have human readable certificate here with the name of the customer address, sales order ID, other information that is relevant. And then we also have the customer acceptance information going on to certificates on the blockchain. So you can see all the blockchain signature, etc. Right? So now that we have that information, we can also track things by product. So you can see avocado, cucumber roll, Beyond Burger, different types of products. We can see that. Within the products, we can see supply tracking, where it came from based on order ID, order date. These are all being pulled from the different ERP systems, and we are essentially creating a digital twin of what is coming out of their existing networks. So the supply tracking, you can see where the supply came from. This product we're looking at, there is a status alert here. We are certificate expired to expiring soon. And then these are these primary producers. These are the warehouses that gone through. These are the manufacturers, and we can see where all get distributed. Okay, so we can look at different suppliers in the system. We can look at recalls. We know we have a problem, and we need to see either start recall, or we need to see the recalls in progress. Right now, when I came over here, I see 3 recalls in progress. So the hot dogs has been flagged, but we have avocado cucumber rule going on before that. This process used to take Walmart about 2 weeks per store to actually do a recall, because let's say you have a spinach recall. It came from a farm in Salinas, California. From there, it got processed through some plant in Watsonville that did the triple washing and the packaging and then chilling, etc. Then it gets picked up by cold chain capable trucks, and from there it goes through to their Walmart's distribution system. So the wholesalers pick it up, get it to the regional warehouses. From the regional warehouses, it goes to the stores every day. Shipment comes in the night to the store, and then the shelves are stocked, and then customer comes and picks up. And customer comes and picks up, and then if you have to do a recall, every one of these independent businesses have their own systems, multiple systems actually, and they all have track and trace. You can say, hey, tell me the batch ID, I'll do a recall on it. But figuring out which batch ID, where it came from, who it went, it's a manual process. So somebody has to go inspect each and every part of this particular supply chain. And they have to pull the records from their own systems, and then they have to go and manually pull these things from shelves or warehouse stocking shelves or wherever it is. And it's a pretty cumbersome process. It was every store they had to deploy 1 to 2 people. Practically, it takes them a week or two to do a major recall. And recalls, there are multiple recalls that happen every month from major to minor. So it's a major pain. So when Walmart implemented Food Trust with IBM, they got a common source of truth built. So the blockchain ledger was built. They built track and trace applications. And then the first product they connected the dots with was sausages and pork bellies from China. So it's a cold chain capable product. So they brought that in and they connected the dots from shipping through transportation, through the farms in China, all the way up to the stores. So they were pretty successful with that. So they expanded the pilot to fresh mangoes coming from South America. So they got that up and running. And then they expanded to all the fresh produce. And recall takes them about 7.2 seconds now, from what it used to take quite a bit of manual time and effort and cost to do that, right? So, so now we are looking at a recall here. In this, we can see what is being recalled. We can go and look at the recall tracking. So what we've done is we put one single pane of glass where we have the items being recalled. We can see it came from the 6 primary producers. There are different ingredients that went into avocado sushi roll, from sushi rice to avocado to cucumber to pickled ginger to seaweed. So we can see that information, and we can click and expand on it. Warehouses, we went through 3 warehouses. We went through 1 manufacturer, went to 3 different distribution centers, went to 15 stores, and from there went to customers. And some of the customers have been impacted. So I can actually go drill down and say, okay, 9 customers in Fremont store 5. We can see that there are 32 units in store, 9 units have been bought. The unsold inventory of 32 units have been withdrawn. And here's the information from the store. We can see the recall status been withdrawn. So-and-so withdrew it. The amount has been tagged as withdrawn and disposed. The data can be validated on a blockchain. So that information here is here. Who is the creator? Who is the organization ID? All of that is on a blockchain. So there's no dispute if FDA comes later, somebody else comes later, you didn't do it. We have all the data associated with it. We have the name of the people, we have the notifications, the company, all of that. The certificate is also there in blockchain. So for the items that have been sold, it's a little bit more difficult because if you came into the store when you purchased and went, the store may not have records, but in certain cases we do have some records because you might be using the loyalty systems, you may be using credit cards. So there are different systems from which we can pull information. So from customer ID, loyalty ID, credit or debit card, the name of the customer, the phone, and there are some more sophisticated systems around who might have been in the store, etc. That can be a different level of integration. So we're pulling information. So we got phone number and email for people. Some people we got cell phone. Some people we got email. Some people we had to make phone calls. So we were able to send information out. Notifications were sent to all of these people. Some people we got an acknowledgement from. So let's look at the acknowledgement. And acknowledgement here, you can see from product ID to customer ID, this particular customer got it. They acknowledge that they have gotten it. The timestamp for that has been recorded, the date, how we contacted them. We actually gave them a refund of the money, and we also gave them a bonus of 500 loyalty points. And we have the customer comments here as well. Thanks for letting me know I had disposed of the item, right? So because we got everybody onto the same track and trace network, we were able to execute this recall without any issues. And it's a much more smoother customer experience. And we have the ability to actually reach out to the customers without doing a TV recall or something, saying, hey, McDonald's is doing a recall of this thing. If you ever bought spinach from so-and-so producer and you have it in the home, then you dispose of it. And you don't even hear about it. Like my Toyota had a recall for their door, and the sliding doors for the Toyota Siennas would get stuck. I didn't know about it. I wasn't going to the dealer for my repairs. And by the time I heard about it, I went to the dealer. They said, sorry, you have more than 130,000 miles. The recall doesn't apply to you because now your car is kind of old and could have happened otherwise, right? So the dealers, the people in the middle, they really don't know who the end buyers are, and there's no way to get to them unless you have building a system like this. And when you have a system like this and you have this, recall is one use case, but circular economy, recycling items, taking these items and destroying it when you're collecting them and taking it back to electronics being reassembled, all of the traceability for it back and forth can be done on this. So you can do upcycling, you can do a lot of things because you have a common shared network of data and participants who are joining on supply chain. And we're kind of cracking the code around how do I get beyond that multi-tier supply chain issue. In typical networks, what happens is if you're a big OEM manufacturer like a Ford or Caterpillar, your tier one, who are big suppliers themselves, so the engine manufacturers, the big systems manufacturers, they don't tell you who their tier twos are. They don't want you to get to them. So they are trying to shield you from that information because if you know, you might bypass them. You might, at the end of a contract, go around and have a different contract directly with the suppliers. Or you might come and squeeze for better pricing and better margin. So in order to protect themselves, they don't actually share that information about the tier two. And most of the supply chains are 5 to 10 tiers deep. So you go to tier 2 to tier 3, nobody has any clue. So if you're asked for ESG information around what is the emission footprint for your corporation, or as a banker who has given you a financing for your business, I now am responsible for financed emissions. I'm responsible for a certain percentage of emissions that come to me, allocation from your business. Since you don't even know where your data lies, and 85-90% of your data is outside the four walls of your enterprise, my estimate of what my financial emissions were might be wildly wrong. Right? And there are compliance issues. SEC has mandates from 2023. So this was announced in 2022. about all major corporations who are trading. They have responsibility to report. India has something called BRSA, where they just announced that this year, top 1,000 companies who are on the stock exchange, they need to report on their climate emissions. UFLPA, the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, was passed on June 21st. This year, it became law. That is what gives customs the ability to recall anything, stop anything from coming in through what's called a withhold release order. And then onus of proof is on the importer record. Importer could be a Costco, it could be a Walmart. So the JCPenney or whoever is the importer, they have to hold J. Crew or Ralph Lauren, whoever is accountable. So, so this data network, once you have trustworthy data, you can work with it in different ways and you can apply it in different ways. So hopefully this is a good enough walkthrough of different types of supply chain capabilities.